Dear Farah, each moment away from you already seems like eternity.
A mother's heartfelt message to the infant daughter she will never hold again. The pain behind the startling number of Black infant deaths and the organizations trying to help. Plus,
I remembered the feel of us backing up, and then, I didn't remember anything else.
a harrowing story of survival. 50 years later, a Cincinnati woman remembers a deadly commuter train accident. Plus,
everybody's in this, and so many people stepped up and have given full-time hours to change a neighborhood.
From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Well, Congress officially created Women's History Month 36 years ago. We take time each March to recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions of women. Welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. I'm Ashley Kirkland. Women continue to break the glass ceiling in business. And according to NerdWallet, 40% of U.S. businesses are owned by women. Those companies generate nearly $2 trillion a year. And despite the success, business experts say companies fail for a number of reasons, including no business plan and starting with too much debt. And they say the deck is stacked greater against women entrepreneurs. But reporter Lacey Roberts has some advice that can even the odds.
The beginning stages of entrepreneurship can be tricky. Having a good relationship with business counselors and financial advisors are key to getting started.
What I learned is that, women are limitless and they are going for their dreams.
I saw a whirlwind of women business entrepreneurs that just, had a spark of confidence that said, hey, I want to take the next leap of faith and, try it out.
Those statements are what business counselor Jill McCauley and Small Business Association manager Angelica Johnson say have boosted their numbers and consultations. But they can tell you being an entrepreneur is more than just having passion.
I think some folks think they can apply for a grant or apply for a loan and it's automatic. But really, there is a process. You have to show that you're business worthy, your credit score. So you have to have a business plan to connect to funding. Do your research, do the market analysis. Are there competitors in your area that do exactly what you do and what makes you stand out? What gives you that competitive advantage?
Well, that business plan is going to prepare you to know how much money or funds you're going to need to start your business. And then that's when you say, either I'm going to save my personal funds or maybe I'm going to reach out to the bank.
There was funding for pandemic relief, but at the same time, maybe not as much funding for startup businesses. So we were able to get in the weeds with them to look for those startup business funds, look for those business classes, connect them with webinars and organizations to help them, really grow their business and start off on a good footing.
So kind of talk about how you've kind of had to walk people through that financial literacy when they don't have that background, and then what else they can do to secure funding besides just going straight to a loan.
Absolutely. So it's a great question. So I like to play the advisory role here at the bank. So I would provide them with different types of education. We at First Financial Bank, we do provide financial educational seminars to our business entrepreneurs. And then you mentioned, are there other types of funding besides loans? Absolutely. You can go through your county, the city of Cincinnati, they provide grants. Believe it or not, there's so many grants out there for women business owners or just small business owners in general. That's what the SBA is for. The bank, offers an SBA loan to cover that risk of not having collateral. They mitigate a lot of risk involved in that, because if you don't have collateral and something were to go wrong with your loan, the SBA will provide money back to the bank if for some reason that loan didn't make it. 3 things that they need to know. I call it the 3 best friends of your business. And one of them is your banker. The second one is an attorney. And the third is your accountant or your CPA, the person that does your taxes. Those 3 individuals are going to help you guide the way for your business, whether it's the legal advice that you need, whether it's the tax implications that you could face as a business owner. and your banker is going to provide you with the tools and information that you need to borrow your funds. So you're going to need those 3 best friends along the way when you're starting a business.
Both parties agree registering for a national certification as a women-owned and controlled business can also open the doors to more exclusive funding.
Great tips there. Well, making that leap to become an entrepreneur might seem like a lot of work, and it is, but both consultants say a key to success is to make sure you choose a business venture that suits your personality and lifestyle. Up next, sharing their stories of love and loss. Mothers talking about the deaths of their infants and the hope that others will never carry that pain. Welcome back. Cradle Cincinnati is a group dedicated to helping every baby in the Queen City live to celebrate their first birthday. Sadly, that is not the case for certain groups of people. Black babies are overwhelmingly being impacted, dying at 3 times the rates of white babies. And in many instances, the socioeconomic and educational status of a Black mother does not make a difference in her baby's chances of survival. And while these statistics may seem dismal, there is now a coalition of people across Ohio looking to give these babies a fighting chance. Let's go beyond the numbers and hear from 2 women who have experienced the pain of losing a baby and how they're turning their pain into progress to make sure no other woman has to go through this same tragedy.
Dear Farrah, each moment away from you already seems like eternity.
The unimaginable death of a child, that's a loss no mother wants to experience. But the heartbreak that thousands of women like Jara Boyd and April Griffin live with every day.
I feel like after it first happened, I was like angry, I felt guilt, I had all these different emotions.
So I was mad with God for a long time. I'm 63 and that's the only time I've been pregnant.
In 1977, April Griffin was pregnant at 19. Her then military husband came from overseas for a short time to be there for their baby's birth. But nothing went the way that she thought it would go.
I spoke to my obstetrician. He says, okay, go to the hospital. You check my blood pressure 3 times that day. Go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. They started IV in my arm, and all hell broke loose.
Griffin said she knew something was wrong when she began breaking out in hives all over. She says her nurses still insisted nothing was wrong until it was.
The next thing I remember is waking up and I see 2 monitors, one with a wavy line and one with a flat line. So they came in and said, we're going to do an emergency C-section. They took me in to do the emergency C-section, and it didn't work. They dropped me on the floor. Then they said, well, the baby's dead. We got to get the baby out.
April's husband had to go back overseas while she was still in the hospital.
And then one day, people came into my room, my mom and the family. Everybody's dressed in black. I'm like, what's going on? They'd had the funeral for my son. And I mean, my whole world fell apart.
April says she did everything right during her pregnancy, eating healthy and staying active. Jara Boyd says with her loss, everything happened fast.
My stress levels were up, and I was out with my mom somewhere, and I felt some fluid rush down my leg, so I knew something wasn't right.
Her mom rushed her to the hospital.
And they hooked me up to all these devices, and they basically looked on the screen and they said this baby's kicking her way out and there's nothing we could do about it.
Just 20 weeks into her pregnancy, Jara gave birth.
And she came out and I got to see her and hold her and pray over her, and then she was gone.
Baby Farrah only lived 10 minutes on Earth, but eternally in her mother's heart.
Each moment away from you already seems like eternity. I wish I could cuddle you with kisses and feel your warmth and stare at your innocent little face for the rest of my life. You will always be mommy's special angel.
Now, the mom of four has turned her pain into purpose, being an advocate for other women during their pregnancies.
I think it's very vital, especially for women who have endured infant loss, to reach out to other women and let them know that they are not alone.
Some 44 years after her devastating loss, April Griffin is also using her experience to empower women to ensure they have healthy pregnancies and deliver healthy babies.
I don't want any women to be sad about losing a baby. So I do talk to them about taking care of themselves. I try to get them to bring the fathers in for their OB visits so he can be a part of this.
Both women using their knowledge to encourage others to take care of themselves mentally and physically during their pregnancies and even before.
I thank God for allowing me to be the vessel to which you came through to share your life,
to hopefully change someone else's narrative.
I will always love you and thank God for you, Fair. Love, Mommy.
Well, Cradle Cincinnati is located at 3333 Burnett Avenue in Cincinnati. You can call 513-803-4822 or visit their website, cradlecincinnati.org, for more information. Just ahead, the memories are still vivid for a Cincinnati woman more than 50 years since she was in a deadly commuter train crash. She tells her story when Let's Talk Cincy returns. Welcome back to Let's Talk Cincy. As local, state, and federal officials continue to address recent Norfolk Southern train derailment, we want to draw your attention to a crash from half a century ago. This one did not involve a train carrying hazardous materials, but for those who survived a deadly train accident in Chicago, Illinois, they don't want people to ever forget what happened. One of those survivors is a Cincinnati woman. Louise Lawori will tell you the incident was life-altering. Now, 50 years later, she shares her story of gratitude for surviving the crash and remembering the many lives that were lost. Here's Let's Talk Cincy anchor Curtis Fuller.
So my husband dropped me off at the train station, and I think it was the 53rd Street station. You know, if you rode the trains long enough, you recognize the feel of when it got to the station, but the first doors were not over the platform and they had to back up. So you'd stop, and then you'd back up a bit, and then they'd stop.
Louise Lawori will never forget her train ride the morning of October 30th, 1972. There was another express train not far behind the train she was on. But on this particular day, the unthinkable happened.
And I didn't particularly notice this time that it was backing up too far. I had gotten onto the back car and into the middle of the back car. There was like a little middle space, and trying to decide whether I turned to the right or left to find a place to sit. You know, where will there be an open seat? And I turned one way towards the front of the train, so I was in the front half of the back car. Found a seat. There were little balconies on those trains. I think they still have some like that. And I went up to the little balcony and opened up my copy of Tolkien's Two Towers. I had just started it for the multiples read. And I remembered the feel of us backing up, and then, you know, I didn't remember anything else. And what had happened was they had gone so far beyond the platform that the switch in the platform that tells the oncoming trains that there's a train in the station had gone green. And, you know, there was a light way back. So then when he backed up again, the driver of the oncoming express train didn't know to slow down because he'd gotten a green light. So that train was coming at least 45 miles an hour, but apparently they didn't. It was an old train. It was a heavy steel and concrete car with like wicker seats. It was an old car. And so the weight of it, as it entered my shiny, bright silver, sleek, new, two-story little car, the back half of that car was just gouged out by the front of the oncoming train.
There were approximately 1,000 people on that train. About 1/3 were either injured or killed.
45 died and about 350 people injured. I don't think there was anyone on the train that wasn't traumatized in some way, even the people who didn't have any direct impact. They talked about, mangled bodies, and I heard from someone recently who said all they found of her friend was her high school class ring. So, you can envision from there.
Louise was in the hospital for 2 weeks. She was unconscious. She had cuts and bruises and a lacerated liver. 50 years later, some of the physical and emotional scars remain from the deadliest commuter train accident in Chicago's history.
Until I began to find people. Someone, a reporter that we just interviewed with, said, yeah, I used to ride that train. And I remember those cars, and I remember them stopping and backing up. Another man that I talked to said, oh, my mother told me that story. And then he emailed me back later and he said, I found out it's not that she sometimes rode it, but she was on that train too. And she had to get out and walk. So when you start asking, people don't remember, and then you talk to someone who does, and there's a story. There's a deep, profound story. At the 25-year point, I thought, surely they're doing something, and I'd just like to see the paper, when they take pictures of whatever they're doing or write the story. And they said, well, they hadn't planned to do that, but they did send I was here in Cincinnati, and they sent a reporter, and did a wonderful story about, remembering. And then in that time, because my name was listed, and we still had phone books, I was findable. We have, in my small family, so we now have 5 children, 4 of whom wouldn't be alive if I had died in that accident. And so we have always lovingly referred to it as my I'm glad I didn't die day. And we remember it, not usually with any ceremony, but we talk about it. And sometimes we get out the newspaper articles and look. But it's always a both and. That, most existential of questions, why me, and why did I survive and they didn't? There's not an answer to that. Different faith traditions express it different ways, and I just have to rest in the, random reality that I survived and people didn't. So I have to remember that, and that it's just humbling. And it also is a challenge to then celebrate the life that I have and make it mean something. That beautiful quote, to just leave the world a little better than when you came into it, has always been a goal of mine, and I think always, framed in the context of, I still have my life. I've had the joy of my 5 children, my wonderful husband. So there's not an answer to the big question, but there is some direction for what to do with the life that I do have.
Incredible story. Well, the National Transportation Safety Board issued a report 8 months after the crash and determined the probable cause was the reversal movement of the first train and the failure of the engineer of the second train that was operating too fast to recognize the train ahead to avoid a collision. Meanwhile, survivors want a permanent marker placed at the crash site to remember the tragedy. When we come back, rebuilding a Cincinnati community one business at a time. The story of revitalization in just a moment on Let's Talk Cincy. We want to hear from you. Email your ideas to ltc@wlwt.com. And remember, you can always watch full episodes or get more information on wlwt.com/Let's Talk Cincy and on our very local app. You can also listen to Let's Talk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Cincinnati is a city that encompasses nearly 80 square miles. There are 52 unique neighborhoods like Over the Rhine, Avondale, the West End, and Hyde Park. One neighborhood that's on the comeback is College Hill. A little more than 20,000 people call it home. The community is a perfect example of what's possible when people come together to revitalize their neighborhood. Let's Talk Cincy anchor Curtis Fuller takes you there.
All this development is more than 20 years in the making. It was worth the wait and coming to fruition.
College Hill is a neighborhood with perseverance, and nothing says that better than the dramatic changes that folks have pushed for in their community.
Well, we looked at some vacant lots for a long time. It was worth it now in the end, but now we do see a lot of foot traffic going from north to south, south to north, walking from the neighborhoods, walking from the new apartments.
Tina Stolborough is the longtime owner of this corner cafe and neighborhood gathering spot called the College Hill Coffee Company. She is one of the neighborhood's biggest cheerleaders, but she'll be the first to say this transformation is an example of what can happen when you have residents working collectively, all hands on deck.
It was neighborhood activists, College Hill Forum, Community Council, very active, College Hill Community Urban Redevelopment Corporation, responsible for so much of what you see, but all organizations acting together, including the ministerium. Everybody's in this, and so many people stepped up and have given full-time hours to change a neighborhood. I mean, we were told 20 years ago, you're on the cusp, and a retiree at Landfair started picking up litter on the avenue and recruiting everyone she could, and she's one of my very best friends, and here we are. You know, that's what happens. We have come to the table. We support ourselves as well. We were told, you know what, you need to raise $200,000. We're going to raise $200,000. Somebody else matched that. We go to the table with $400,000, and we have had huge support by City Hall, with folks rotating in and out of office as well, because we lay it out and we showed them what the plan was for the neighborhood, and it all started with folks that lived here, just citizens, active volunteers.
The Hamilton Avenue Business District is growing, anchored by familiar names like Bacall's Restaurant, celebrating its 4th decade, and other unique shops inspiring the neighborhood.
I'm excited for the new businesses that's across the street, the new restaurants that's down the street, so people are starting to move around a whole lot more.
It's very exciting when they roll out of bed, cross the street, and roll into our place, because we see folks that stop in at Terry's, ate lunch at Sleepy Bee, they're coming here afterwards, and that's exactly what our goal was.
Well, the College Hill Community Urban Redevelopment Corporation is located at 6107 Hamilton Avenue. If you want more information, you can call 513-681-1551, or you can check out the organization's website, chcur.com. Well, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy.